Hey everybody, Mr. Flavorful here, and today I want to do something that I am going to be very proud about. Something I grew up eating all the time, especially on road trips, and it's still one of my favorites today, and now my boys as well. What is that? That's beef jerky. All right, let's bring the reality into this. Beef prices have just gone through the roof. It's been absolutely insane. Beef jerky is even higher. For a 1 pound bag, that's not even a 1 pound bag. What used to be a 1 pound bag that cost about $15 a pound, that same bag, but now 2 to like 4 ounces lighter is now $21.99. That's insane. Beef jerky prices have absolutely gone through the roof. That's a real bummer for me, trying to get some protein in. I'm doing a whole new lifestyle, the carnivore diet life, on my other channel, the carnivore diet life. So protein for me is something I need on the go all the time because I am an on the go guy. So I haven't done beef jerky in probably 8 years. So this is gonna be the first time I'm doing it in a long time. And I wanna share with you my experience on how I'm doing it. And what I wanna be doing is I'm adding a whole playlist, a whole series of videos specifically for beef jerky making, using lots of different methods and lots of different tools to do that. What I wanna do is I wanna start from the bottom and work our way up to the top. So this very first video is gonna be something that I think everybody can really afford at home to do. And I'm gonna use a very affordable meat slicer to effectively cut our meat just nice and thin, perfect for making beef jerky strips. We're gonna use a very popular beef jerky seasoning kit by a very well-known company. And we're gonna season up something. We're just gonna do an original flavor. We're gonna stick it in the refrigerator for 24 hours, and then we're gonna throw it into a very affordable heated dehydrator. No, this is not the most affordable dehydrator. This is not a $60 unit. This is more in the range of about $150 to $200 for a dehydrator like this. And why do we need to have a dehydrator like this? We need something that can get to the temperature of about 165 degrees. 165 degrees is what's recommended for doing beef jerky. That 165 degrees helps reduce the possibility of bacteria growth throughout the dehydrating process. And we're gonna do this for about 8 hours. That usually works out pretty good at like 165 degrees. I'm pretty safe to say that for my family, between 160 and 165 degrees is what we're gonna do it for. So probably in that 163 or 164 range, maybe something like that. And if this is an easy process for you to do and you wanna duplicate this, man, this will save you guys so much money when it comes to beef jerky. It's a healthy snack for you and your family, so you just can't go wrong with that. So without further ado, let's get into making jerky.
And to get started today, we're using 2 1/4 pounds choice Angus top round roast. This cut of beef is very popular for making beef jerky. It's just a good combination of the right amount of intramuscular fat with the right amount of meat. It's not too fatty, but not too lean, so it's gonna be nice and easy to eat. All right, today we're going to use my Nevada Knife Works. It's our 14-inch blade. This cuts through anything, and we have to break everything down into manageable little chunk-sized pieces. That way it fits properly into our meat slicer. And I'm just cutting against the grain right now. It doesn't really matter so much right now because when we cut it in our meat slicer, that's when it's pretty crucial for you to cut against the grain. But I'm just chunking these pieces up so that way they're manageable. And today we're using our meat slicer by JonsCook. It's a really handy, very affordable little meat slicer, but you really have to be careful on the chunk size that you put in here. Right now I'm cutting down just so it fits a little bit better. So you want to put the chunk in there to see if it's actually going to fit. And you really want it to fit just below the surface of that guide area right there. Once you get that all done with all your chunks, then we're good to go. And you're going to want to just check some of your questionable chunk sizes. If they're too big, cut them down, but this is the time to do that right now. Now that you've got them all chunked up, just go through and cut away some of the remaining fat that might be on the outside of this. We want to get rid of a lot of that fat because outside fat doesn't really do good in a dehydrator and as jerky. Sometimes it gives it an off flavor. And here's our meat slicer base. This is a really handy little base. It's got a nice handle on there. Here's the guide. You just slide the guide on there, push down on the handle, and then push this lever over, locking it into place, and it suction cups onto the surface on a nice smooth surface. And this is the 17 blade assembly. You can't actually take it apart and cut the number of blades down by half, but to get the thinnest slices, you need to have the 17 blades. And the blades just fit right in between the guides like this. And then you take the piece of meat, orientate it in a way where you're going to be cutting against the grain of the meat. This will give you the tenderest bites once we're all done with this. And then just take the blades, position them to where it's fitting right between the guides, and you're going to apply some pressure, and you're just going to do a sawing motion back and forth while applying pressure downward on the blades, holding the grip firmly, making sure that your fingers are completely closed in a fist. That way you're not going to possibly cut your fingers. And then just saw back and forth, back and forth. Really, really easy to do. And look at that. We've cut all those pieces in just a matter of a couple of seconds. And they're nice and thin. Everything's uniformed. Very, very easy to do and perfect for our jerky. I mean, come on, look at how thin these slices are. This would have taken forever to do with just a normal knife. And then we just keep repeating this process until we get through all of our meat chunks. And I tell you what, this is so easy to do. It flies by. Now, this piece was almost a little too big to do, but even with that, look at that. Effortlessly comes apart. Smaller chunks like this one, this is a better size, so I'm able to really push through this much, much easier. So you really want to make sure that the chunk size fits below that little saddleback on your cutting guide right there. When you make the chunks the appropriate size, then that sawing back and forth motion makes it very, very, very easy to do with not a ton of force on there. Look at that. Bump. There it is. Could it be easier than that? All right, I'll show you just one more. Small little chunk, fits right below the saddleback on the cutting guide. Align my blades, do a little sawing motion back and forth, and push, apply pressure, pushing down. And as you can see, look at that. Just those little meat slices just slicing up and popping through all the blades. Sometimes you got to put a little force to it, but that suction cup base and that grip that's on there makes this very, very secure and safe to do. Just check that out. Easy. Anyway, I think you guys get the idea. Just go ahead and do it on all your meat chunks and you're set. And when it comes time to clean it up, just disassemble everything and pull the little cutting guide off of there, and then it just slides right off. And then that suction cup base, just break that suction cup. That comes right off. And then you just want to be really careful with the blades. You've got a dull side up top, but then you have the sharp side below. And the guide, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just do everything by hand. It comes with a couple little sets of brushes that you can use, and just use some hot water and some soap. And voila, look at that. 2 1/4 pounds sliced very thin in a matter of, I think this took me like 5 minutes. It was super, super quick. Look at those thin slices. All right, and now it's time to season it up with our High Mountain Seasonings Jerky Kit. This is a variety pack. It's got 5 different flavors on here. The flavor I want to go with today is the original blend. And then here is the mesquite blend. That's a pretty good one, I would imagine. And then, come on, hickory blend. That's going to be amazing. So we'll definitely get back to that one. Mesquite, some people like mesquite, some people don't. Since it's the first time we're doing it, we're going to go with the original. But the hickory would definitely be a good one. I'm almost positive about that. And then we have cracked pepper and garlic. I mean, come on. Who doesn't like pepper and garlic? And then for heat it up, the Cajun blend. But today, it's going to be the original blend. That's what we're going to go with. All right, now let's rip into the box and see what we've got in here. Well, first things first, we have the instruction manual. So this gives us a walkthrough instruction guide on how to properly apply our seasonings and everything like that for the different types of cuts of meat that we have. What I mean by that is, are we doing ground beef or are we doing full meat slices? So that's kind of nice because it's a little different for each one of them. And we're going to be doing the full muscle meat slices. So this is the one right here. And we have a little shaker to apply all of our seasoning and our curing salt. And this is our curing powder. So you have a lot of this because it's meant to be used with all of the different flavors in here. So there's going to be a lot more of this over all the different seasoning. Then you have the original, and that's the one we're going to be using today. Then we've got the cracked pepper and garlic. That's going to be a good one. Our Cajun spice. I'm sure I'm going to like that one too. The mesquite. I personally like mesquite. Not everybody does, but I'll enjoy that. And then, of course, our hickory. We're totally going to love that. I think I'm going to save that for the ground beef. And then we're going to be using a tablespoon today, and we're going to be using a teaspoon to measure things up. Now we go through with a big cookie sheet, and we lay down all the slices nice and flat. You want to make sure not to have them overlapping each other. I mean, if a little bit, that's okay, but try not to get them to overlap too much. So we have a little over 2 pounds of meat, so we're going to do just a nice, generous heaping tablespoon of our seasoning. Then we just take that and we put it in our shaker. I suggest doing it over a bowl just in case you miss the shaker. You can put those contents back inside the shaker. And then for 2 pounds roughly, we're going to use 1 tablespoon of the curing powder, and then we're also going to add a teaspoon of the curing powder. That's what the recipe calls for 2 pounds, but we're actually 2¼ pounds. Put our shaker cap back on there, and then we're just gonna mix it up really good. So just shake it up, seal off those little holes, and shake it up really good in your hand. That way everything blends together really good. And then we're just gonna sprinkle it over the top completely, just a light little dusting on one side. And then once we get that side fully done, then we'll flip it over each individual piece. And this is kind of like the daunting part, because you have to take every little piece and flip it over, and you want to make sure that they don't fold up. You want to make sure that they're not really overlapping too much. And then you're just going to take your little shaker with your seasoning and you're going to dust this side now. Then put it all into a collection bowl and just repeat this process until you've gone through all the meat slices. Now, you probably have gone through only about half of your mix. So what we're going to do now is mix the rest by hand. We're going to dust a little bit, then we're going to turn it over and mix it up with our hands really, really good, trying to break the pieces apart as best as you can, and then dust and just repeat the process. Then we're just going to take a 1-gallon zip bag, open it up, fold the edges over. That way we keep the zip area nice and clean and free of seasoning and any meat. Throw all of our meat in there, and then fold it back up, zip it closed partially, and then we're going to flatten that up. We're going to take all the meat and try and flatten that down. Then we're going to close it a little bit more. Now we're going to try and push all the air out of there that we can, as much as possible that we can. And then once we get to that, then zip it up, seal it completely, and you're good to go. Now it's time to throw it in the fridge for 24 hours. All right, 24 hours later, unfortunately for me, it was 48 hours. We're going to use our Cosori Dehydrator, plug it on in, open it up, and now we're going to put all the little meat slices on each one of the racks. Okay, so pull the drip tray out, throw a rack on top of there, and then we're just going to do basically what we did before. We're just going to lay these out as flat as we can. This time we really want to have space in between them. We really don't want them to overlap at all this time, because it'll mess up the drying process, and you don't want to do that. So you want everything to really dry out nice and evenly. We're just going to go through and repeat this process. I think we get somewhere around 5.5, maybe 4.5 racks on this on 2¼ pounds. So this will take around 3 pounds of meat. And then close it on up. And we're going to be setting our temperature to a lot of people do it at 165. I think between 160 and 165 is pretty good. So for us, we're going to do it at 163. And then we want to set the time. The default on this is 8 hours, and there's our 8 hours right now, and it has already began. 8 hours should give us just the right amount of time to fully pull all that moisture out of there. There we are, dehydrating away jerky in 8 hours. And voila, we're done. 8 hours later. Look at that jerky. Now, it might look a little different to you. That's because I went through and I did actually sprinkle on a little bit of hickory seasoning just on the top before I closed it up. I couldn't help myself. Look at those. And check this out. Look at that. This just breaks apart so easily. This is going to be so easy to chew. I cannot wait. Check that out. I think, obviously cutting against the grain really helps out a lot. But this was just a good, tender piece of meat as well. Man, my boys are going to love this. Watch how easy this just breaks apart. Look at all this jerky that this 2¼ pounds produced. Check this out. That sure does look flavoricious.
And there it is, beef jerky done. 8 hours in the dehydrator. You're supposed to let it cure for 24 hours in the refrigerator. Unfortunately, I was not able to get to it within 24 hours, so it actually went 48 hours. Now, let me tell you what I did because it went 48 hours. 48 hours, I think it was a little questionable. That meat that I got originally was maybe not the freshest. And when I cut it, everything smelled really good, and I went through and I put the curing salt on there and I put the spices on there and everything. It smelled great then. Put it in that zip bag and stuck it in the fridge, and I was good to go. What I did experience though, when I pulled it out and I went to lay it all out on all the different racks, it smelled just a little off. Now, it's not because of the seasoning and the spices or the curing salt or anything like that. It just sat in there for 48 hours, and I think it was just getting a little expired. And now, not enough to make me sick, I hope, but it just had a little off aroma to it. And when I stuck it in on those racks and I turned it on to start its dehydrating process, it smelled a little funky in the room. So what I did, I covered it up with a little bit of hickory, like rub seasoning I had, just sprinkled it over the top, just a little bit. And that changed the aroma of the dehydrating and in the kitchen and the entire house drastically. So before, it was a little weird. So that's the only thing I deviated from. The length of time, stick to 24 hours. Don't go past 24 hours. Lesson learned right there. But I tell you what, I've pulled everything out. It smells amazing. It looks amazing. But that's the reason why you're going to see a little bit of like kind of some browny, light brown color, like a dusting on the top of it. And that's because of that seasoning I did. Now it's time to bite in and try it out. Let me dig deep in my bag. All right, here it is. Check it out. And I got to tell you, it looks really good. All right, now let's do the break test here. Well, okay. Look at that. Breaks apart really easy. Like, there's nothing to that. That's going to be super easy to eat. Let's try it out. Tell you what, I'm going to take another bite real quick. I tell you, the cut of meat was a really good cut of meat. I really like that. That is so easy to eat. So easy to eat. I mean, that's nothing. And look how thin it is. Like, it was like twice as thick when it was, hydrated still. Man. Okay. This is very exciting. I'm super excited about this right now. I have a bit of an addiction with beef jerky, and it's been costing way too much money. This is a great foundation to start with. That piece of meat is an awesome cut of meat to do beef jerky out of. I'm going to be doing that this week. Again, the seasoning kit. This was the original flavor, and it tastes really good. Now, I added some other stuff to it. Totally a great foundation to work from. The flavor's just a little off, and that's because that meat was a little bit off, like I said. So for you guys, go get your freshest cut of meat. Like for me, when I go to the meat market, I pull from the bottom of the stack of meat. I reach to the back of the fridge and grab that fresh piece of meat. Even better, maybe if you're going to a grocery store, I'd hate to do that because it would be really expensive, but ask the butcher for the freshest cut of meat they have because you're going to do something special with it. Normally, they'll help you out with that. For me, Sam's Club or Costco is kind of my go-to place. This cut of meat cost me $20. It was very affordable, and it got me a lot. That's gonna last me like 2 weeks. Overall, I'm very happy with the experience. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a huge favor. Like this video. Put in the comments, what's your favorite type of beef jerky? What's your favorite flavor? And even better, how are you making beef jerky? What is your process? And what cut of meat are you using to make a delicious beef jerky for your family and friends? And then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really helps me produce more valuable, flavorful content like this for you in the future. And until next time, live a life of flavor. I'm telling you, that's good stuff.